So I've heated this. Let's see if I can get that sleeve to come out now. Yeah, there we go. Pretty toasty. Oh, that sleeve looks like it's in perfect condition. Really didn't expect anything other than that, but the piston ring is not compressed. The gap is here. Now the all-important, are we able to just finagle this thing off of here? Been pretty lucky with the last few engines I've done here. Wow, that's interesting. It looks like the wrist pin retainer there is metallic. Looks like connecting rod wants to move pretty freely on this thing, so maybe I can just get lucky here and get this thing off of here. I would love that. I don't want to have to try and mess with that wrist pin, especially that it's got that strange look to it. Oh, it doesn't look like it's going to want to do this. And this thing just feels so nice and silky smooth. I don't even know if these bearings really need to be replaced at all. But the only way to even replace these bearings or think about replacing these bearings is to be able to get this connecting rod out. Piston. Yeah, I don't know what the heck that material is, but it almost looks like metal of some sort. Well, you may find this hard to believe. I was actually able to get that wrist pin out. Kind of funny because apparently this engine was in good enough shape that this wasn't really too glued to the connecting rod. Usually it doesn't take much for that to happen, which is really odd. So, you know, I put some oil in there and heated this thing up considerably, and the only thing I could really get to fit in this little hole was a T-pin, because this wrist pin retainer actually looks like it's made out of a real soft metal, if even that, I'm not sure. But I stuck that T-pin in there and just kind of, I thought I saw it move a hair, and sure enough it moved. And then I thought, well, if I can get it to move a little bit, I can get it to come out. So I went and heated this thing up more. Still really hot here, and I was able to pull that wrist pin out. Oh wow, that's really hot, unbelievably. So I'm really kind of excited here. I mean, I don't know that this thing feels like it needs new bearings, but now I can at least put bearings in if I need to. This stuff is all extremely hot right now. I used my industrial strength heat gun and had it on the highest setting. So it's quite toasty there. Now, I don't know if this crankshaft might be a little bit too long. We'll see. See if I can actually get on this thing to... Looks like I'm... Oh man, just... Maybe just enough to get on there and be able to pull this thing off. I don't know, it doesn't feel like I'm going to be able to get on there and yank this thing. Yeah, I can get around there. I got under there now. Should be able to pull this prop driver off. Yep, it's coming off now. Try and do it this way so you can see. slipped off here. This 2-jolt puller is really cheap. Now there'll be a Woodruff key in here. And there it is. The Woodruff key. Now that front bearing doesn't look too bad. Usually you sometimes kind of tell a little bit by just looking at how bad the front looks. I mean, this thing really spins pretty good. The question is, do I go ahead and replace bearings anyway since I've got it this far and just have the peace of mind knowing that they've been replaced, especially since I've got that wrist pin out? Or do I just leave it? Not sure. I mean, I'm going to go tap this crankshaft out anyway. Tear my screwdriver up. It's going to take a little bit more than force than that to tap that crankshaft out. I'll tap the crankshaft out and then assess the bearing situation from there. I'm just excited that I was actually able to get this thing out. This does look to be a fairly low runtime engine. Super cool news. Super cool engine. Piston ring is free. Shouldn't need one of those. So, pretty sweet right now. Stoked. Okay, bearings and crankshaft are out of this engine now. Doesn't look like it's in too bad a shape. Here's the front bearing. Front bearing's got a little noise to it. Rear bearing feels really good, just kind of dirty. A little bit of rust on there, I think. I dropped those in some LA's Totally Awesome cleaner, and if they don't feel better after I clean them, I'll just replace them. No big deal. I'm not in any big hurry to get this engine back into service. So there you have it. Most interesting parts of this engine were this top headpiece, the design of the head, and the casting involved in making this head. Those are really the key things of interest in this engine. Pretty cool looking engine, ran well. Now I can, I'll probably go ahead and take that timing gear out. I'm not going to show you that, it's pretty simple stuff. Like I said, I want to clean this casing up real good and maybe try and fill that with some JB Weld and re-tap it to the right size so I can actually get a regular metric screw in there as opposed to the SAE one that was stuffed into this thing. But hope you enjoyed seeing a look inside of a pre-Surpass OS FS-120 engine.